Hey folks, Tim Toolman here with another episode of Car Show and Tell. This is installment number 20 on the C4 Corvette project. And we got last few, I don't know, 4 or 5 videos, we went over the front end and we did a bunch of work to that. And so now it's time to go over the back end and do much of the same. So why don't we have a look over here and we'll take a gander at what we've got to do. You know, much of the same. Bushings, wheel bearings, and those are not stock C4 bearings, and shocks and brackets, and there's a spring. Oh, there they are. There's a VBP / Van Steel sport spring for the rear, and new improved sway bar from the same people. So we're just gonna get right into it. So here we're at the back of the car. We've got it jacked up nice, and we've got the back end supported properly on jack stands for a long-term rest. And we're going to work from the inside towards the middle. So we're going to start working from the outside in on both sides, disassembling everything. We're just going to show you the one side. You can figure out the other side, right? It ought to be the same, just opposite. All right, so I should have gotten my tools ready, but I didn't. Go. All right, so back here, we're going to take the brake caliper and bracket off as one piece. We don't need to separate the two this time. A couple of 18mm bolts that hold the bracket to the knuckle. I'm going to take those out and then hang the caliper up and out of the way, not off the brake hose. And we can get to this top bolt with the ratchet and a socket, but the bottom one you're going to have to use and a box end wrench for, because of the e-brake cable, at least on the earlier cars, the 84 to 87 cars, that e-brake cable bracket goes on the same bolt. So that's a little more of a pain to get out. I've already taken the liberty of loosening this one, so we're going to take that out and hang this up, and then we'll continue from there.
Go.
Well, I changed my mind already, and we took that caliper off the bracket because it's the way I had it ran. I had to get it down in between these two radius rods to get it hung, and you can just hang it right here, out of the way, back behind everything from this factory transport tie down. But you know what? Kind of a good thing, because it gives you a chance to get your bracket off, and you can try out your sliders and make sure that they're still sliding great and they're not, you know, frozen up or anything. So once you got that done, just put your bolts back in your bracket, and you can well, you can check the thickness of your brake pads too, so that's good. These are still nice. They got plenty of life left in them. So we're going to put this stuff off to the side. This is the BMW rotor that we swapped on here a while back. If you haven't seen that video, these brakes are still working fantastically. So I like the wear pattern. It's nice and even. It's not rough at any point. So I'm happy with that. We're going to take this rotor off of here, out of the road. Oop, oop, oop. That's good for it.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
And we're going to try out our bearing, because I'm fairly certain. Yep, look at that. Get your camera in here close. Can you hear it? Yep, that's got play in it. I can feel it moving up and down. And that's the way that these things like to wear out. It's not, it seems like they like to wear up and down and not really side to side, because of the it seems like I corner pretty hard, so it puts a lot of stress on that outer bearing, and tends to grow in the up and down direction. So yeah, that's why we got new ones. So let me go set this stuff back off to the side, and then we're going to start working on this.
Go.
Okay, we've got a cotter pin and a nut keeper on here that are going to have to get gotten out of the way. So let's try to straighten this out as well as we can. That, and there's our big axle nut. So we're gonna have to get our big axle nut socket and take that off. That's tightened pretty hard.
Go.
All right, I got a 36 millimeter axle nut on my breaker bar, and we're gonna spin the drive line with it. Yep, because
Isn't it in gear?
it is in gear. I'm fairly certain it's in gear. Goes in gear. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hook my e-brake cable back up, and we're going to use the e-brake to lock that down. So I'll be back in a moment.
Go.
Let's try that again. There we go. Now we'll just go break the other side.
Go.
All right, I think what we're going to try to do, or what we're going to go for here, what we shall aim to do is to take this knuckle off with this hub bolted to it all in one piece, because I've been behind here to change these bearings out before, and it's a pain in the butt to get around these drive shafts, the U-joints in the drive shaft. So since I plan on changing the U-joints out anyway and having all of this apart to put new bushings and everything, might as well see if I can't get the hub and the knuckle off all in one piece. And I'm just going to start at the top here, undo this, that, this, and then these, and it should come out. So we'll start with our sway bar link, and well, I'll go with the top. I'll go with the top and leave this attached to the knuckle for disassembly later. What size is that? Oh, 'tis not a size. It's I don't know if that's riveted together or if that spins. Let's see. Yeah, it's turning, but there's no head on. What size is that head? It's definitely not a 15. It's a very thin head. Ah. Okay. It's like a 16 or a 17 back there. Where are those other metric wrenches?
They're up there with the stand.
not a 17. Maybe it's a 15. It didn't feel like a 15. I lied. It's 15. Okay. I don't know why I'm not using my impact for this. You know? Or my spray. Why? Let's do this. Let's start soaking this stuff. There we go.
Oh.
A little warm. Let that come out. Oh. I don't have a drift handy. Yeah. And that's why you don't do it that way.
That's why you don't buy a GM.
So, let's take this one out. And that felt like a regular 15 on the back side, which it is. Yikes. Can't get to it like that. No, that's a different. That's what? 19. Okay. Snakes alive. You might as well just pause it. Now, use whatever colorful language you have to get that apart. Holy hell. That was entirely harder than it had to be. Again, I don't have a drift handy. Jesus Christ. Those are definitely going to get cleaned up on a wire wheel. So, well, now you know what not to do there. Next thing we're going to do is put a jack under this leaf spring. Okay, just till it comes off of this pad, and then we'll take this apart. Alright, so I knocked the cotter pin out of my tie rod. I'm going to knock the cotter pin out of my bolt here. Our spring pad bolt, and it appears to be a 22 millimeter. I don't know what the head is up here. 20 something. 22 at the top, 22 at the bottom. So let me get another wrench in the socket. It's 21. 21 at the top. It's a 21. Okay. You rolling?
Yeah.
All right, I was wrong. 21, 21, and 21. So that's fine. Set that two out, and
You're in.
came off more easily than I thought it would. I think I'm just gonna have to peel that off, or maybe let's try this. Let's see how this works.
Good boy.
Yeah. Okay.
Let it down.
Yes, you may. Man, those are stuck together. Absolutely stuck. This is all going to get blasted and re-blackened before it goes on the car. But anyway, I'm going to set this stuff to the side for later. And see how this comes off. That's 19, I think. 18 or 19. 18, as it were. Wonderfully. And now we're going to move down to these and see what size those are. Big. They are big. 24 millimeter. And there's a bolt head on the other side. That is 22 millimeter as well. I don't have a wrench for. Heartburn. I'm gonna have to check and see what I got that'll fit that. I might just wind up putting a big adjustable on it if this doesn't come apart. Let's see how it works. Oh, that came off there. Okay. All right. Big adjustable it is.
Go.
We got an adjustable on it. Let's see. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Ah, man. Okay. I don't know what was up with the sway bar. That was tough. All right. So shits and giggles, I'm going to swing at this and see how many licks it takes to get to the center of this Tootsie Pop. And hopefully I don't booger it up in the meantime. Whoops. What was that, 6? 6 licks.
Wow.
So there's that. And we've got our lower shock bolt and nut. I guess it's a stud, so that's going to have to come off from this side. From the inside, how's the view under there?
It's good.
That's 19, let's try an 18. 18 seems to be the magic number for that.
Let me do one of these.
Maybe a deep one. Let's try the deep one. Lovely. Okay. Now, I suppose what I could do is take the shock off at the top and then just take a block of wood and a hammer and beat this down. Maybe I'll leave it bolted up. Let me get a block of wood and a hammer. Out of the way. Everything out of the way.
Yep.
Running.
Yeah.
Actually, there we go.
Top bushings are so bad you can do that.
What?
Top bushings are so long out you can do that.
Well, that's the way it pivots.
Oh, yeah,
this
okay.
way. Okay. If it pivoted that way, I wouldn't have tried that.
Okay.
Okay. But I looked at how that went, and it was like, well, that should probably come apart. So.
Okay.
So, you know what I'm going to do?
So,
I've got this washer here that went behind the nut. I don't want to lose that. But I don't have a magnet.
you might not even lose it.
Alright, pause that. Let me get a magnet.
Go.
Okay, so we got our washer off. And something I want to do actually before I forget is I want to take this ABS sensor out of the hub. So I'm going to need like a 9 or 10 millimeter to just pull the bolt from that sensor and then slide that up and out of our hub here before we get too far into this and try to remove it with that sensor in place.
Oh, you're on the back?
Yeah.
Go.
Alright, I got this ABS sensor out of here and just put the bolt back in the knuckle so I don't lose it. That leaves, I gotta pry this lower arm out and I gotta take these radius arms out. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'll take them off here before I take them off here, because it appears that these two bolts right here are kind of a pain in the arse to get to while it's on the car. So anywho, I'm taking a top bolt out of the shock. There's a 15 and an 18 and there really ain't any easy way to get to it. So I'm cranking at it with the old Manuel wrench. And we'll take that off. And that's even using some of this. I'll put a little more on. It's so once this is off, I think we'll try that idea. I'll take these two radius arm bolts out and we'll see what happens from there. One shock absorber.
Go.
Okay. What size are these? Is it a 15? Oh yay, it's a 15. Oh God. Okay. Oh. Here's my spray. Spray into bulbs. Spray into bulbs. And oh boy, the one on the bottom. Okay. And you can't get the box end in there. The only end you can get in on the back side is the open end of looks like an 18. I don't know. It's kind of loose. Where's my 17? 17? I love how none of my tools match. This is it. No. I don't know. It must be an 18, although that feels kind of on the loose side. But it's got metric markings on the head of the bolt, so it must be metric. Let's call it 17 and a half. Because it's, like I said, that's, I don't know, it's a little loose for an 18. I like them to fit a little tighter than that. Okay, we got a 15 on the front and 18 on the back. Hey now, that came out nice. Let's try this. And I'm probably gonna have to move my, there we go. That's the e-brake cable, so just get that out of the way as well as you can. There we go. We don't want to lose our nuts. Those are important to keep. Where is it? It's falling down. Did it fall into that frame hole? Yes, it did. Wonderful. Well, that'll be fun to get out later. Idiot. All right. Well, let's see if I can not lose this one. Maybe if I just kept the wrench on it, I don't know. Okay, well there's one. And the other one's probably in my frame. So I'll either fix that out with a magnet or buy something else. So I'm not sure what's a smart idea here. Maybe it would be smart to put this on a jack. That way I don't lose control of it. It comes smashing down on me if it comes off that easily. So I think we're gonna do that.
Go.
Okay, let me see if I can get this bottom bolt out of here. Bottom bolt's out. So what do we got here? Okay. Let the jack down.
Hold this one.
I got it. Crank it.
Slowly.
I might have to stick something in here to pry this lower arm out. Yeah, looks to be the case. Okay, my stub shaft is free. I can see that it's moving in and out of my bearings,
Wow.
so that's good.
I'm surprised it's not stuck.
Maybe if I get these, wiggle these arms out from this radius arm bracket.
And the sway bar link. Don't forget that.
Huh?
You don't want to bend the sway bar link.
The sway bar link is fine.
Okay.
It is disconnected. Well, maybe if I tap that out.
Yeah, tap that out. Yeah.
There we go. Get that out of the way somehow. I don't know. So that's off. Those are out.
Got
There.
it. Woof. Wow, that is
Okay.
nice.
There we got a knuckle and a bearing out and our radius rods out.
These are for the.
Those 3 Torx bolts, that's how you remove
That's why
your wheel bearing. And like I said, with the size of this U-joint being in the way, you've got to turn the thing a certain way to be able to get past it to get into the head of these Torx bolts.
We figured we'd just take the
And
whole thing off.
it
While
takes-
replace the bushings.
It takes the extended Torx tools, they're long and skinny, because if you get the fat, short ones, you don't have the space to get them in here to get to those fasteners. So that's the thinking behind that idea of, you know, trying to get this all out as one piece and then trying to disassemble it outside of the car. So I think we're gonna stop here, take a short, oh, I found that nut.
Is it right there?
It's right here.
Ah, sweet.
Yay. Ah, ta-da.
Look at that.
Two.
It didn't.
2 nuts. Oh wait, I was doing shock absorbers. The Count is confused.
Guys, I think I need a
The
new
Count
dad.
has had too many birthdays.
You're only 40.
ah.
42. 3.
You so wrong.
44. Sorry.
There you go. The double quattro. Oh God. My knees don't get old. It's a trap. Ugh. That's why I need a break. So, since I don't have another 24mm socket, we're just going to use the old open-end wrench there, or the adjustable wrench. Throw that on there and
Give it a crank.
there she goes. Little hammer, the ladies' model here. Ta-da.
The ladies model.
We've got the ladies' model hammer. Yes, hello. This is the ladies' man.
It's like the P22 of hammers.
Okay. So it looks like I'm going to have to take that wheel bearing off because... Do that first because these bolts don't come out of here. So... Learned that today. But you know what?
This justifies the mechanics versus engineers war.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go with it. You know what? This will flow. This will flow just fine. Like this. And there we have it. More washers, and we gotta keep track of this. One is an upper and one is a lower, and I'm gonna have to remember which one's which, the longer or the shorter. The longer one's the lower.
Yeah, the longer is lower.
So that'll be easy to remember. LL. Ladies love Cool J.
Not
or
this guy.
Ladies love Tim the Toolman because he can fix their cars. Okay. Let me get this. Let me get the special tools.
Okay.
Rocky Road.
I'm gonna have to stop filming.
Sloth. of junk. Hey, you guys! T55.
This man is something else.
T55. And like I said, you got to get the extended skinny ones if you plan on just doing this on the car. Which you could see if you go back.
For yourself.
If you go back and look at one of my old videos where I redid the wheel bearings before. That's the, is that the out? Yep, that's the out. Good job. And one last one, and I need an extension. I don't have the 1/2-inch extension. Hold on.
It's mine now.
With that one, yes. The one that's still in. Okay. So, I got it. You got it?
Yes, I got it. And they're all the same, so we don't have to keep track of them.
All three of those are identical.
Make sure you get the washers.
And that can come off, right?
And there's your wheel bearing.
And that is
And
not.
these two.
Here's our control arm bolts. So I want right now to do is put my washers. I'm sorry, radius arm bolts, whatever. That's technically a control arm.
Technically.
I'd like to put my washers in my
Is
nuts.
that more of a trailing link?
I'm gonna put these nuts back on my washer. Or on my bolt.
Gonna put the nuts on the shaft.
Put the nuts on the shaft. And then just really carefully, I don't want to disturb that. And I think I maybe can wiggle this out of here without taking the brakes apart. Nah, that's going to be impossible. Yeah.
Haven't you done this
Maybe.
before?
Maybe.
How'd you do it before?
I don't think I took the e-brake out.
Do you want to try and take this off? See if that makes it any easier.
Well, this was still bolted to the car the last time I did this.
Okay.
So, go grab that other block of wood.
Go.
All right, let's try this. I just put this up on a block of wood, and the wood is not under the flange of the wheel. The wood is just under the e-brake shoes.
That's moving. Yeah, there we go.
So, there we have it. Huh. Look, dead bugs. So,
What else you expect?
all right, here's my dead bearing. Let me grab one of the live ones.
Go.
Okay, here's the box of one of my new rear bearings. Okay, this is the part number. This is an SKF bearing BR930097. And I'm going to take this out of the box, and at first glance you're going to look at it and you're going to say, it's a Corvette bearing. Right? I don't think it is. I don't think this part number comes up on any Corvette bearing search on the parts websites or anything. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember any of the C4s coming with a built-in passive ABS sensor. And this cord can be removed. We're going to take this Allen head cap screw out, and then this cord just unplugs. So we'll be able to use this bearing with the hub sensors that are in our car that read the reluctor ring that's on the axle stub shaft. These are very similar to the Corvette bearings. Honest to God, if you like I said, if you compare them side by side, you'd say it's a Corvette bearing. However, and that's the beautiful part of Rock Auto's website, that I can get on there and compare the bearing specs from one to the other, and I could see that the hub height, the flange height between the two bearings is identical. The bolt circle for our mount bolts is identical, and it takes the same size bolts. And the only questionable area that I couldn't determine from the Rock Auto website was the size, and I'm not sure if it was the spline count of the drive axle. So let's see.
Here we go. Let's see if we bought.
Let's see if I screwed up or if I struck gold.
Oh, we got gold.
I struck gold. I knew it was a 27 spline hub, and I can see that these bearings are bleeding grease. These stock C4 bearings were already bleeding grease. So, but the big thing that I wanted to discuss, let me wipe my hands off here. So,
go.
Okay, the big difference about these bearings that I wanted to point out to you guys, and you have to apologize because my battery on my good caliper died, so I've got my genuine horrible freight caliper out here.
Pittsburgh.
This might not be the most accurate measurement in the world. I want to try to measure the hub diameter of the outer bearing. What's it say?
85.2.
Okay, about 85 millimeters. Maybe a little bit wider because I don't have as much depth. What's that? 85.4.
85.4.
So it's probably about 86 because the jaws of this caliper don't go down over the bearing the whole way. Let's compare it to this one. Is rats.
What's up?
It's about the same. I compared it to some of the old ones that came off the car. The ones that I had kept and taken off the car before.
Yeah.
And they were skinnier. They were skinnier than this, but this one actually matches it. That's... Huh. Well...
Well, I mean, they're the same, right? Is that good?
Well, that's the thing. I measured not this set, but I had kept the old ones
That came on the car?
that were on the car before this set.
Okay.
And I think those were like SKFs or Timkins. I can't remember.
I think they're Timkins.
And they were skinnier in diameter than these.
Okay.
That was, these were still bolted to the car. So the only one I had to compare with was the old rear that I had saved from the ones that I had taken off before those.
Okay.
And this one was fatter than that one, that old one. But the one that was on the car is the same size. So, I don't know. Do what you will with that. This wheel bearing was listed under a 99 Chevy S10 four-wheel drive front hub. Okay? And in the description of that bearing on at least the Rock Auto website, they say it's an X-Tracker hub. Now, like I said, I compared this to one of the old bearings that came off of the car before this set, and this outer bearing was bigger. Like I said, comparing it to the set that I've taken off the car now, it appears to be the same size. I will say this, it's wider this way if you come down from the top. This bearing is wider. I can't hold these both. I got the prop them up if I can. This one is wider this way than that one. So perhaps this one actually utilizes angular contact ball bearings versus standard straight up and down ball bearings. And that pushed that bearing further out. Either way, I'm hoping this supports the hub a little bit better and will help. It might help deflect the stress of cornering a little more effectively than the old ones. I hope. We'll have to see. So I'm putting these on the car. As I said, they're 99. That was what I looked them up for. 99 Chevy S10 4-wheel drive front wheel hub. The shaft, the spline count matches the C4 rear hub. And everything else as far as the hub height and the mount bolt pattern goes, I think it should bolt right into here. So why don't, you know what, why don't we take this sensor off and oops, Teflon washer. That's my Teflon on. You know where that was? Right, that was on here and it came off.
I think so.
It came off when I slid the bearing on, so. Let me get my metric Allen keys. We'll take this sensor off of here and we'll see if it slides into the rear hub.
Oh.
Alright, got my sensor unplugged. I'm gonna have to find a means to plug that hole, I think. But let's see. Well, it's like a monkey fucking a coconut. It ain't gonna work. I'm gonna have to take all of the e-brake parts off to get this to fit in here. So we'll do that in a later video.
Yeah.
But I think that that'll go in eventually. So I just wanted to experiment and see while this was apart here, to try to either confirm or deny whether that would work or not. So stay tuned in a later video. I'm sure we'll get that taken care of. Alright, so that's the big bad, I guess, suspension disassembly part of this, or most of it anyway. It's already been about 48 minutes on this, and according to YouTube's emails that they send me, that's longer than people's attention spans, because apparently YouTube thinks you're all morons. I don't know. I didn't write the email. That's just what they told me. Keep my videos shorter because you're exceeding people's average attention spans. Whatever. Thanks, YouTube. Calling us all morons. They'll delete that part for sure. No, we didn't do that. But anyway, I'm rambling, so I think I'm going to wrap this up here. The next time around, we'll film the removal. Shut up. The removal of the half shafts and the spring and the sway bar and all of that fun stuff. So we're going to stop here, take a break, and we'll see you next time. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and likes and all the other stuff. So appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.